Welcome to the Be Encouraged Show. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Frank.
We are diving into some amazing, deep conversations with Magnus Nilsson and Corey Simoneaux. Two totally different professions, but boy, are they making an impact in community.
This is going to be amazing, Lisa. We can't wait to talk to these two young men.
Awesome. So come join us.
Biggest challenge I've had to overcome in my journey, I think getting myself out of my own way. I help them with that other investment that some Americans never see, probably most Americans never see. 80,000 on the low end, up to I work with trampoline parks that are 1.5 million all in for a single location. It was because my mom wanted me to do it, and it was because it was like a six-figure job.
Once it starts doing something, double down on it. Like, how do I make this better than what it is? How do I continue to grow this thing? How do I stay relevant with my products? The consistency of upload is important, not only because you just got to be consistent to upload, which everybody says, but it's the consistency to upload, which means you are obsessed with your craft. You want to get better at your craft and get better at the content creation in this case.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the Be Encouraged Show. This is Colorado's voice for growth and good, and I'm Frank.
I'm Lisa.
Yeah, today's show is sponsored by Crescio, who offers to help entrepreneurs with pay-what-you-can consultations to understand AI agents and use them to increase your sales and lower your overhead. Visit them at Crescio.com to learn more.
Yes, and today we are joined by two incredible leaders that are actually living very different journeys. One building businesses through franchising across America, and the other connecting through sound.
Indeed. These two young men, we're excited to have them on the show. Guys, let me ask you this. Magnus, first of all, if I could, since you're kind of our host, and we've had an opportunity to meet and talk with you before, what is the biggest challenge that you've had to overcome in your journey, my friend?
Oh man, biggest challenge I've had to overcome in my journey, I think getting myself out of my own way. My business is like most business, it's a volume game, high ticket sales. You could say that. I view it as more of like I'm really helping people, but it's a significant thing, right? Most Americans, their biggest purchase is their home. But there's another part of the population that maybe they want to walk away from their job and start a business, or they're serial entrepreneurs and they want to own more businesses and create more freedom for themselves. And so I help them with that other investment or investments that some Americans never see, probably most Americans never see, but it is still a significant investment. 80,000 on the low end, up to I work with trampoline parks that are, 1.5 million all in for a single location. So quite significant. And it's like, I would say getting in my own way, like understanding that it's, talking to the more people to get the right people in my pipeline and helping those people as best as I can, and being there for myself to help them to be there for them. So that's probably been something I'm fortunate to have overcame, and continue to refine over time.
Awesome. And how about you, Corey? What's one of your biggest challenges recently?
Yeah, funny enough, that's actually a great question. It's been a long time since I've been asked that. I think I'm pretty sure last time I was asked that was a job interview. Yeah, crazy, right? But
We might hire you, dude.
Yeah, I was literally asking you guys for a job. No, yeah, for me, my answer has changed since the last time I was asked that. Why I say that? Now it's the perfectionist mindset and perfectionism in general. Because back then, before what I do now, which is kind of content creation, also coaching my niche of content creation, I had such a perfectionist mindset, and a lot of the time what would happen is it would kind of inhibit or not enable me to push forward, as my own creative thinker slash entrepreneur, slash content creator slash anything in that realm. So yeah, it was kind of tough, especially coming a little bit from an engineering, side of things, learning that kind of side of things in school,
Yeah.
to be more okay with failure. To seek failure is such a hard thing to do. And I'm not even saying I'm great at it. That's not what
Yeah,
I'm saying, but I am better than I was, back then,
for
a
sure.
few years ago. So yeah, I would say a perfectionist mindset for sure.
Perfectionist mindset.
Awesome.
Wow, yeah. Well, no one's ever had to deal with that in real life, right? So I get it, my friend. I want to back up just a minute because I want to clarify a few things and make sure that our audience are familiar with those. Corey, while we have ASMR, content creator, what does that mean?
It's an acronym for a science term that's just so drawn out. It's autonomous sensory meridian response. Basically, what that means is like those, how like whenever you get like a back scratch, head rub, massage, all this stuff, you feel these like good feelings back here, like tingles,
Uh-huh.
but not in a
Yep.
weird way. Uh,
Yep.
yeah, like you feel that and it feels good on your head. You feel like tingly in your brain and it feels good. I do that, but with audio slash video via, normally the internet, the YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, that's basically long drawn out acronym for what that is. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just overwhelmingly curious about that. Magnus, you've gone from marine engineering, my friend, to shipyards, to helping people start franchises. What
Yeah.
first drew you to entrepreneurship and franchising uh, as your calling in life?
That's a great story. It's a great question. So like for me, my journey was it was a little bit of self-discovery. I remember the moment that I first found out about this world of franchising, and like it just was like a no-brainer. It was a big spark and I knew I needed to follow that interest. Um, but I think it came from understanding that like my why for going to a merchant mariner college, right? Like when I discovered for myself that it wasn't because I was patriotic and I wanted to serve my country. It wasn't because I wanted to in my heart of hearts and I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. It was because my mom wanted me to do it, and it was because it was like a
Oh,
six-figure job. I knew I
mama's
could get a
boy.
six-figure job out of school. And that's why they're called the merchant marines, right? They make a lot more money than say like wartime mariners, right? AKA Navy sailors. Um, and so, when I discovered for myself, I was chasing coin. I was after money. I had to like kind of regroup and realize that that's kind of a bad thing to chase. I
Right.
probably shouldn't be chasing that because what if it doesn't come, right? And what if something happens and my whole life falls apart? That ties into self-discovery and finding God. But then I also like so because I knew that was something that drove me. When I found out about this opportunity to learn about entrepreneurship and business ownership in a sort of what would you call it? Not safe, but like a controlled environment, like a franchise. It got me excited because I almost felt trapped in my job. I didn't really know anything else. Like I'm one of those people that went to school for 5 years and then discovered that I don't really enjoy what I do.
Right.
And I can also do whatever I want. And when I realized that I could do whatever I want, then I decided like this opportunity came across my desk. I remember I was working for the Port Jefferson Ferry, sitting in my bed, this entrepreneur, big shot. My mom's a realtor at Key West. Um, he was working with my mom on purchasing a home that he was going to use to basically schmooze franchisors, franchisees, anybody that wanted to turn their business into a franchise, or he wanted to buy a frat house for all his franchising buddies, basically.
Nice.
And so he bought like this 5-3 gorgeous mansion in Key West with a pool in the backyard in like the prime location for like $3 million. I remember my mom told me she wrote the contract so that if the seller couldn't find financing for their dream home in Michigan, that the buyer, this guy Nick, was going to have to pay cash. And so it ended up being the case that he couldn't find financing, so Nick had to pay cash. So it was cool the way my mom made sure like the deal happened. He was happy, the seller was grateful, and he ended up basically trying to prospect my mom to come sell franchises because she's a great realtor. And
Right.
she wasn't that interested, kind of referred him to me. And then when I heard about it, I'm like, yeah, this is my ticket into something bigger than myself. This
Yeah.
is, the first time I felt excited in like a decade. He invited me down to Cancun where I was going to meet with like founders of Cycle Bar, Pure Bar.
Oh,
I was
heck
going to
yeah.
meet all these entrepreneurs, and I didn't have to pay anything but a flight ticket down there. And so
Nice.
I paid for my ticket. I flew down to Cancun. I met everyone, and it was everything I could have imagined and more. I had a great time. And then overnight I became a franchise broker, and I had no idea how to sell franchises, and I had no idea how to help people, and I had no idea how to market myself. And it wasn't until like a year later that I really found my mentor who helped me really realign, where I needed to double down, and what I needed to do to actually help people discover the right franchises for them.
Awesome.
And so here we are today, that was back in 2022. So now we're in my third year, going on 4 years now, franchising.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. It's awesome when you can find your calling.
Yeah.
So Corey, so you started ASMR content in 2020, and one of your videos, Super Blessed, it went viral, right? 25 million views. Like, that's a dream for people online doing what we do.
Absolutely.
So what made you first start creating ASMR, and what hooked you to keep going?
I think it's kind of starts with like, if you have a fascination for it at the beginning before you do it and you understand that fascination, meaning like in that case, what I kind of told you about what it is, like that feeling that I love watching ASMR. You can find, once you find that thing, it makes it easier for you to grow because you actually like that thing as well.
Yes.
And I'm a guy that, I would say I'm a little bit introvert, but I'm a little more extroverted than introverted. So I like community building. I like talking to people. So yeah, it just you find something that you like. Essentially it's business, right? You find something that you like, you work hard at it. Once it starts doing something, then you're like, okay, double down on it. Like, how do I make this better than what it is? How do I continue to grow this thing? How do I stay relevant with my product? That's kind of that's how I got because I had a few videos before that viral video happened,
Yeah.
that started to like do really well, at the time, really well. And then that one popped. And then I was like, okay, even before that video, funny enough, I was like, okay, I definitely see something with this. And then that video popped and it's like, yeah, I definitely have something with this. Um, and yeah, I will say, I did get in a time with TikTok where TikTok with my niche ASMR wasn't super popular, right? There was still a lot of creators.
Yeah.
But it's not like it is now. So that I can't lie if I said, oh, it was like all hard work. There was a little bit of luck, but with more hard work, right, you get a little more luck. Yeah.
Isn't that the truth? funny how that works, isn't it? Right? Corey, social media can be brutal, my friend. I engage in it quite a lot myself. Yeah. So, what was the toughest challenge in building such a large audience, and how did you push through it? I mean, and how did you navigate those times when it didn't seem as though you were getting that kind of traction?
Oh man, there's a lot of answers to that question, like different ways to think, think through that question. Um, oh my gosh, I can think of a lot of answers. I guess one. Okay, I'll cut this into two parts, right? One where you're trying to find a spot where you starting to get that traction, and then a second part of the question slash answer to, like, once you get the traction, how do you keep going whenever you find those steps back? Okay,
Yeah.
so for the first part of that question and answer, um, you basically, how would I say this? One, obviously believing in your own product slash like what you have to say, what you believe in, is obviously the most crucial, right? Because then you're not going to want to push that if you don't truly believe in it, right? It's not
Yes.
truly you. Um, Second, you gotta just stay consistent, and like I really I whenever people say you got to just be consistent and upload, that kind of annoys me. I'm not gonna lie, and I don't mean that in like, oh, that's just so annoying. Stop talking way. More like, why do I have to be consistent? It's
Yes.
the consistency of upload is important, not only because you just got to be consistent to upload, which everybody says, but it's the consistency to upload, which means you are just you're what's the word I'm trying to think of? Like, you're obsessed with your craft. You want to get better at your craft and get better at the content creation in this case. So like when you're consistently uploading, you're learning about what doesn't work and what does work.
Right.
And over time, that input output is going to teach you, finally, once you get your traction, that okay, this piece of input and output works. This
This is
content
it. Yeah.
works. Now let me build off that. So now
Nice.
on the second part of that question and answer of when you have at least a little bit of traction, then you kind of stumble, because you will. It happens to everybody. I can tell you a good example. Like, I remember one time, this was about 2022, early 2022, if I'm not mistaken. I kind of had this thing, right, where I was stuck in like 40,000 view, which is good, like relatively good to some people, right? To a lot of people, right? 40,000 is nothing to sniff at. But
Yeah.
I was stuck in this, like, within a 30-day upload, every one of my YouTube videos was hitting 40K, and that was just the number. And I was so stale, I was so stagnant. And then, so basically, me and my assistant, we kind of put our heads together. We learned, we looked up different tactics, and we researched, and it took hours and hours and hours. But we found things like the thumbnail, the style you construct the video, your title, and a few other things that like really, like, we really dove into, and we really researched, and we kind of tried to see what works, what didn't work. And yeah, over time, you just, if you hit that, that thing that, like, what used to work now doesn't work, you gotta research, you gotta actually put your head in the books. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's so many answers to that question, and it's a great
Yes.
question. I love it.
That is awesome.
Mm.
So, all right, Magnus, back to you in regards to franchising. I know for
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, it can be overwhelming at times, right? Can you give us an example of a client, a specific situation on how you guided them through all of the challenges that they went through?
Yeah. I actually got a closing today. And this is the perfect answer because it's fresh, and they wrote me a really beautiful review. So I'll read that at the end of it, so that you know that I'm not blowing smoke up my
Yeah.
bottom. But okay, so I met these people. They requested information for my services online. And basically what happened, so the wife actually requested information on franchising, but she's like a huge, like big corporate professional. She has a job, I think in HR, where she's like COO of some company, makes like 400K on payroll per year. And initially I thought she was the client, like she wanted to walk away from her job
Yeah.
and start a business, and compare business ownership to another job, which is a very common client type of, I guess you would call it a type of client that I would have.
Mhm.
Archetype, that's the word I'm looking for. And so like, turns out that, I always try to get the husband or the wife involved. Like I try to get the spouse involved, because oftentimes if you're looking at something as significant as starting a business, I don't care what kind of marriage you have, like there's going to be a conversation around it, and it's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be a joint decision. And it's a big decision. Um, and like, uh, initially it was just her that I was working with. When I finally got her husband, Eric, involved, as I began learning more about them over time, I discovered that it was mostly Eric that was going to be running this business, that was going to be, leading the charge on this. And the wife was actually dead set on finding another job, and she wasn't trying to be a part of the business at all. Eventually, like, she could walk away from corporate and assist in the business, but Eric was the one that was no longer working. He was in the past, he was sports medicine was his background.
Right.
So I showed him a variety of different franchises. I personally can't recommend to anybody that I don't know, look at these franchises, but I'll say the names of the franchises just so that you guys know. But there's a franchise out there called Athletic Republic. It's like literally it's like a sports medicine, like science-backed fitness gym that helps athletes get the best workouts out there possible. So they got all sorts of different like high-tech equipment. It's a big investment. I think it's like between $400,000 and $700,000 all in. You're going to rent out a space. It's like a big deal.
Yeah. Which
And
is
he
a
was
good fit for him, though, with his background.
good fit for him. He liked it. He took it all the way through what we call the discovery day, which is like the culmination of their due diligence, where they fly out, they meet the team, they shake the hands of their new business partners, which will be for the next 10 years, by the way, longer than the average marriage in the United States. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And a lot of people don't realize that. But anyway,
I realize
tandem to that opportunity, though, I had him looking at some other options as well. One of those being the one that he's closing with today, called Tippy Toes. So Tippy Toes is a home-based business where basically, ever seen those curriculum-based businesses like karate or jujitsu? I go to jujitsu, they have a 10th Planet. That's like the bulk majority of the business is like a curriculum. Like you just rent out a space, fill it with mats, and you get some dude who knows jujitsu. And the curriculum is the secret sauce. It's what makes the franchise the franchise. Well, this is a dance, it's a franchise that teaches kids how to dance. So like young girls, young boys, they do dance class, ages 3 to all the way up through high school, and it's curriculum based. So you're not renting out a facility. You're partnering with daycares, schools, YMCA's, and you're hosting these classes, hiring like college, kids that are studying dance or cheerleaders, whatever, to run the class. And it's under the franchise model of Tippy Toes. Very lean business. You pay for the franchise fee and some marketing costs. They have a franchisee who just signed like 3 months ago, and in like their first 2 months of training, they've already got 100 kids signed up. They're out of New York or something like that. They only need, I don't know the numbers, you can't quote me, but it's like, I think it's less than 100 before you start breaking even on your investment. And so, women-owned franchise, a Christian founder, in her signature, it's like in Christ, Sarah News. It's fantastic. But that's who he went with. And as a sports medicine background, he had a background, I think he was a principal of a middle school for a while too. It's like a perfect fit for him. He couldn't be more thrilled. And, it was a lot because they weren't sure if Bridget is his wife's name, and hopefully they're okay with me sharing it on the podcast. She wasn't sure if she was going to go to like a different country and do this job. And I'm using fake names, by the way.
Right. No, that's fine.
They weren't sure if they were going to, move to a different country for Bridget for her new job, but it ended up being the case that, Eric wanted to stay with his family in, their hometown. They were going to start this franchise up, and Bridget's going to be able to work remotely. And so they decided that, Eric was going to be able to run the franchise and Bridget keep her job. And here I'll read the candid review of my experience, of their experience. Magnus demonstrated extensive knowledge of the franchise business. He adeptly recommended suitable investment opportunities aligning with our discussions. He presented a diverse array of prospects, ranging from those requiring a modest initial investment to substantial brick-and-mortar endeavors. He meticulously prepared us for conversations with franchisors and provided through debriefings thereafter. Furthermore, Magnus furnished us with pertinent resources to facilitate an informed decision-making process. I unequivocally endorse Magnus to individuals considering franchise business opportunities. So, like, I don't know if you ever like try to buy a house, but it's like kind of painful. You're like,
Yeah.
when can I go to sleep
Totally.
in my new house, right?
Yes.
For somebody thinking about an investment like this, it's a big like tension that needs to be like, coached through. And so
Right.
that's how, I was able to help them overcome weekly coaching calls, encouragement, right? My job is to inspire and encourage them to make the leap into entrepreneurship. And that's a
Right.
long way of saying, answering that question. But
Right on. Yeah. Well, what a great review, my friend,
Yes.
for you.
not to
And
toot my own horn, but that was one of the best reviews I got.
Oh,
So
it's
I'm happy
amazing.
for them.
Yeah.
it's awesome. Yeah. And we're trying to magnify the work you're doing, and you often emphasize courage and systems in your business, Magnus. So, how have you seen franchising change people's lives and communities?
Oh man, I mean, it's not just franchising, but it's business in general. Like for example, a Tippy Toes is gonna, if there isn't anything like that, or if there's like a physical location, it's gonna be a more efficient, a more positive way to get the same job done for the entrepreneur. So, the entrepreneur is going to have an easier time running other businesses alongside their Tippy Toes. For example,
Right.
um, Eric's going to have passion and, drive like he already has to do this. But what's more important is franchising really allows you to like put your foot to the gas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like if you're starting something from scratch, it might work. You might have to navigate, but there's a chance that you're going to flop and you're going to go bankrupt. Whereas like in a franchise, you have a network of other franchisees across many different diverse markets that
Mhm.
can provide, the struggling franchisee with inputs. And they most of the time meet like biannually at conferences to discuss what's been working for them. And, franchisors, of course, will assist franchisees and things that maybe they didn't see coming or weathering a pandemic, for example. It's just a much more, you know, uh, not safer investment, but you have some structural stability to it because of the systems and processes that you're just not going to have if you were to try to do this on your own.
Right. And we found at least local franchise owners, a lot of military personnel who are retiring love that model because they're used to structure. And it's almost like a cookie cutter model that is perfect for them because they're given all the marketing content and all the management, all the whole. It's like a cookie cutter recipe on
whole
how to
shebang.
run business, and it's amazing because if you're starting a business from scratch, that is a whole nother ball game.
Oh,
I mean, that is.
we can tell you about that ball game.
Yeah.
Right.
So Corey, so millions of people tune into your content, right? For connection, calm, all the things. What kind of impact and feedback have your fans given you that has impacted their lives personally?
I guess that kind of goes into two things. One, obviously, they enjoy my videos. They help, it helps them go to sleep. It helps them to de-stress, helps them as a background filler whenever they're working, gaming, you know, reading, I guess, stuff like that. That's one. But two, which is actually my favorite, is the sense of community. Very underrated. The sense of community and the sense of community building all together is what is that's kind of what drives us and our community and the brand in the first place, right?
Right.
Because if I was just a ASMR creator, right? I would not, and I couldn't do the other stuff that I do to community build, to then further, our group and to further myself to teach what I teach now to other, creators in my niche and other just creators in general. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. So yeah, I guess that's just the impact that I make on them, but just as much as I make on them, they make on me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's awesome.
Corey, I had this question brewing underneath. Who impacts your passion for creating content and creating community? Is it more your Louisiana touch, or is it more your Asian touch?
Yo, you're coming in with the
Damn.
great questions. Oh
Damn.
man, I've never been asked that either.
Dr. Frank Sinclair, everyone.
I know, right? Gosh, man, I get it. I know. Yeah, that doctor's coming out. Man, I've never been asked that. Oh man, gosh, I don't know. That's a great question. I would have to think about it. I guess if you stem that question to my parents, because obviously my dad's Louisiana Cajun.
Yeah.
My mom is 100% Japanese from Japan. Wow.
I think it's both, man.
I think it's both. Yeah. So my mom is a creative mind, but it's undiagnosed. So, I'm no doctor, right?
Right.
Let's make that really clear. I'm no professional, never will be one. But I'm pretty sure she has ADHD, just from the way I talk. I'm pretty sure I have ADHD.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that creative. It's that creativeness of always wanting to be creative and continue to be creative from my mom. My dad is actually, funny enough, sales is so, even if you are working sales for a company, sales is so entrepreneurial spirited. So my dad's drive to be in a sector of sales that is very difficult to be very good at and the top at. He like one thing that I don't give him enough credit for is he started out like he did start out in, I think from what I remember him telling me, in like a time where the technology, especially technology when it comes to selling to different companies and the military, was doing really well. But then like he got hit with a time, I'm pretty sure it was 2008, where it was really, really bad, like 2008 to 2009, 10 or something like that. And he overcame that. Like he could have quit. He could have just got another job. He was undergraduate with electrical engineering, and he wanted to do sales. So yeah, and then in his past 2 or 3 companies, especially the one he's in now, he's like a top seller, most of the time, all the time. So it definitely both, and definitely both had a say in that for sure.
Right on.
That's awesome.
They hooked you up, man. Yeah. Also, Corey, for someone listening who wants to try content creation, there's so many out there that it just makes my head roll up, but feels scared of failing. What's one first step that you would recommend to them?
So are you saying like from the start, like actually going
they
in
want
and
to
trying
do this, but they're afraid.
Yeah.
What's
Okay.
the step that you give them?
I just say just try it. It's I guess what I'm trying to say is try it because it's doable. It can be done, right? Like I know everybody says like if I can do it, you can do it. But like that's like I was so afraid, bro. I was so afraid of being on camera. I did not like being on camera. I don't like taking pictures. I just don't like, and I wasn't good at like public speaking. I'm still not that good. But like how would I say this? It's if I was able to do it with the perfectionist mindset, like, oh my God, everything has to be like freaking perfect. The first product I have has to be like perfect. And the first video, rewatching it a million times and just having that engineering mindset and what have you. I was able to just overcome it. You will learn if you really want to do it. One, it's doable. Two, just learn to be okay with, hey, that video wasn't that good. Like, let's move in this direction. Like it's fine. It's fine to do that. I have so many videos. If you just go on YouTube or you go on TikTok, I think it's the website on the browser. I think they updated it. If you look at my oldest videos, it is nowhere near the same ideas, the same quality. It's not even the same style that I do from my first videos as opposed to now. So you're gonna mess up, and that's okay. You just next video.
Corey helped me get my first viral video. Well, semi-viral. I got 70,000 views on TikTok for it, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
Go Magnus.
I've never hit 70,000.
No. I
Yeah.
mean,
So you
wow.
should be pretty happy about that.
That's
So
Corey's system,
Magnus,
yeah.
I have a question for you, Magnus. So for inspiring entrepreneurs who are looking to get into franchising,
Yeah.
what is the one mind shift that
Mm.
they need to do that you kind of guide them, give them advice? What is that magic to shift their mindset?
There's so many. There's so many. Basically, every time I hop on a call with my clients, they're thinking the wrong way. And it's just kind of like, well, some people kind of just get it, but you know, a lot of the times people kind of think they know everything. And what I kind of
Really?
help them understand is like you don't know what you don't know.
Yes.
Um, and like there's so many different backgrounds people can come from, but one of the main shifts I help people understand is that if you think you can do it better, franchising's not for you. Right? The entrepreneur that like loves to like do their own thing and be creative and start their own business, like that's
Yeah.
not for you. Like if you haven't gotten that out and built a multi-million dollar business by yourself, and that's like what gets you excited, then that franchising might not be for you. Franchising's for the person that's coachable and that is able to follow a system.
Yes.
And so that's kind of like the initial, I
That's
guess.
why it's not for us, Magnus.
Yeah.
Right. It's not for everyone. It's not for
We
everyone.
like chewing on glass every day to grow our business.
I like to take my suffering sober. No, but like, you know, if you're gonna do this, like you got to be able to admit you don't know how to run a dance studio for kids, or I don't know how to run a science-backed, you know, fitness concept, and
Yeah.
I'm willing to learn, right? And really like keeping that open mind and willingness to learn is what I encourage the most, because when you come to the market to learn about franchises, you don't know. Like oftentimes by the time you've heard the name, it's too late. By the time you've heard Chick-fil-A, it's too late. That bus is come and gone, you know? And so I'm helping people find those opportunities that, you know, maybe 5, 10 years from now, they're gonna be the household name.
Yep.
And when they receive it, you know, it's gonna be something that's they haven't never heard of. They might, and so I encourage also people to not poke holes in the business, put their wallet away. We're not buying anything, we're just exploring,
Yeah.
right? So there's a whole conversation around that. But yeah, I would say keeping the open mind. Like people think they know everything. Like
Yeah.
you
You're
can't learn.
right,
What is it?
Magnus.
It's a proverb, right? To the
Oh,
man
Yeah.
who's
totally.
hungry, or to the
Mm.
man who's full wine, or excuse me, let me get this right. I forget the number, but it's to the man who is full, even honey is disgusting, but to the hungry man, locusts taste great. It's not
Yeah.
Yeah.
about honey and it's not about
Exactly.
locusts. It's
Exactly.
about if you can't learn anything, then you already know it all. Then yeah, that's it. You can't learn anything. You know it all.
Well, you know, Frank, I must say my key takeaways with both Magnus and Corey today is you both have learned how to grow, pivot in business, and really you have a heart to reach out and help others. Even though you're doing two totally different things in life,
Mm.
it's incredible your movement that you are doing because you're reaching thousands of people with franchises, especially right around the whole country, and that's going to their customers. And I love what I mean, Corey, just incredible your growth and all that you're doing as well to potentially minister to a lot of people.
Indeed. You know, my biggest takeaway today was two young men who business found, whose spaces found them more than they found the spaces. And they've taken advantage of that and saw where their connecting points were and how they create space for other human beings on a very, very broad scale. So we're so thankful that we get an opportunity to talk to Magnus Nilsson and Corey Simoneaux today,
Yeah.
Lisa. They were
Yes, so
incredible,
good.
aren't
Oh
they?
yeah.
Yeah. I want you guys, as we are closing up here, to tell us, just summarize, Corey, what your business is and how people can reach you.
Yeah. Basically, I'm an ASMR content creator. I'm one of the fastest growing male ASMR content creators in the world on YouTube right now. and one of the most influential on TikTok. You can find me Corey ASMR. I also, if this gets to any ASMR creators, I also am opening up a couple, 2 to 3 long-term coaching opportunities for ASMR. So yeah, I'm already teaching 3. Funny enough, I just literally last night I just uploaded a new video with showing off 3 of my students, so you could check them out.
Yay.
And how much I wrote down the growth of their numbers on YouTube and TikTok, how well they're doing
Awesome.
since we first started. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Can I reach out to you?
Yeah, you can.
Right on, brother. Right on. Yeah. Same with you, Magnus. Give us a summary of what you're doing and how people can reach you, my friend.
Yeah, so I think the question earlier really speaks volumes to how I'm able to help somebody who's starting to learn about franchising or discovering, maybe off the beaten path route to entrepreneurship. And I help them educate themselves to make informed decisions in the franchising landscape. It's a 6 to 8 week process. I don't charge anything for my services. A lot of people don't realize that, but the franchisors pay for my professional fees. They're already set in stone. So it's not like a commission thing at all. Basically, they would never have found my potential client, you who I'm speaking to at this time, if it wasn't for me and my coaching you and introducing you to them. And so that matchmaking service is what is so valuable. And the franchisor is happy to pay that for my services. And so if you want to work with me, I don't charge for my services. To get in contact with me, I have a website. I've rebranded. I am now the Franchise Magnet. All puns intended. So you can reach me at thefranchisemagnet.com. There's a section, if you have a business that you've wanted to maybe expand through franchising, you can click the Franchise My Business button on the top right of the home page. And if you want to learn about franchising and how it could potentially help you grow 3, 5, 10 locations of your perfect fit franchise, you just click Find My Franchise on the top right, put your information in there, and a member from our team will be in touch to set you up with me.
Awesome.
We're sponsored by Brandon Kirk from Planet Duck.
Yes, he's the owner of Planet Duck, and he has the largest vacuums, strongest vacuums. And what is his slogan again, Frank?
Yeah, they're stronger than the vacuum of space. And Brandon and his family, with his 3 children, are just incredible. I know them personally. We've had a great opportunity to know them. He's a great family man. 25 years, been married to, what is his wife's name? Gaba.
And she's a beautiful artist, and yes, they have an amazing farm as well.
But he loves the Colorado Springs. His give back throughout all local businesses in town is amazing, and we sure do appreciate him in town.
And one last thing, many of you didn't know this, but Brandon has mentored many small business people in this community.
Yes.
His give back to our community is exceptional. So they really are
Stronger than the vacuum of space.
Look up Planet Duck.
So that's it for our Be Encouraged today. Subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on LinkedIn, and join us in the conversation at beencouraged.net.
Yes, remember guys, it's real talk, real growth, real Colorado.
Yes.
Stay encouraged.